Hold on. Where is that one? I can't find it. I'm obsessed with this song. Well, this one too, but. Okay, and then this one also. Here you go. The TikTok. Hi guys, welcome to the week wind down number 2. Oh yes. Let's have a little glass. It's like a quarter glass today, or is it a third? Yeah, third. This is the last of the Stella Black that I had last week. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have another bottle of wine. I can't remember what it's called. It's something in French, but it's the blue bottle. It's very popular and it's very easy to drink. It's like sparkling or like sparkling cider juice, but it's wine. So I had actually bought that for a girls' night the other week. We ended up not being able to drink it because it's a corkscrew. Anyway, there's a cork in it. So I wanted to tap into that one tonight. Well, the only opener, the cork opener that we have is like those $1.99 ones, the cheap ones. Yeah, well, it ended up breaking, so we can't get into that one tonight. And I don't even know how the heck I'm gonna get that metal part out of the cork, because I mean the whole top part, the thing that you the 2-piece thing that you put together and then you twist it in, yeah, that whole piece came off, and there's like a piece of metal sticking out of the cork right now of the wine. So I don't even want to know. I don't care, because right now we have this, and even though this is probably like stale grape juice, we're gonna drink it anyways. So cheers, darling, to the end of the week. You made it, we made it. God has seen us through to the end of the week, and hey, you know what? Cheers to that, okay? Let's take a sip to one of these. Which one? This one? No, this one. Oh, it's so stale. It's so flat. Girl, this is so flat, it's not even funny. Anyway, okay. So I asked you guys some cues, or a question box on Instagram, and I got a few questions, so I'm gonna answer them tonight, because why the heck not? Yeah, excuse me, I am tired. It's like 12:30 at night. But I did get caught up on the Spring Break Mama edition, so I'm caught up. And that's at least what I wanted to do. I wanted to keep up with it. So this one should be going up either next week, Monday, to kind of conclude spring break, because, you know, spring break will officially be over next week, Monday, because that's when all the kids go back to school. At least here, anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and look up those questions. I screenshotted them. And here they are, right here. Okay. Guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, we need to get up. Get it going. Okay, Carrie. You know what song was on my mind just a second ago? Was it? Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't get copyrighted for last week's video when I was playing Robert, what is his name? Robin Thicke's song. So I'll keep this one on low. Okay, first question. Ovai ko mele punahele. So in English means what is my favorite song? Oh girl, like it changes very often. I honestly cannot tell you because it honestly just changes on the daily. But if there was one I could say, girl, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, and I can't edit that out. Anyway, if I had to choose one right now, it would probably be, I don't know, I would say this one right now because it was on my mind. And then, yeah, we'll just say Energy by Carrie Hilson right now. But my favorite song of all time, ooh, I can't just give you one, honey. I mean, I just can't, you know, I just can't. Okay. Favorite me time activity. I love that question. This, but with better wine. Exactly this. Either cuddling with my baby, anything with my baby. Well, that's not me time, honey. Hello. Me time is this, you know. This, filming, makeup, nails, and doing my own nails too. I love doing my own nails. Isn't this nail like ridiculously long? Ew, what is that in there? Gosh, what is that? Ew, I don't know. Something. But it really is long, huh? It's crazy. And then compared to all of these, so much longer. Yeah, anything to do with filming, editing, even editing, even though that might be considered work, it's still me time. I was gonna say like watching the sunset, but I love doing that with my family, so I would probably enjoy doing that by myself too, but I've already done it. Cut off. I'm cut off already. It's ridiculous. We've done it so many times with my husband and baby that I just can't imagine doing it by myself. But yeah, definitely this. This is my total me time, literally and figuratively. I mean, whether it's for work or for pleasure, it's always just pleasure for me because I love doing it. Second question. Actually, let's go back and forth because I have two screenshots. And I'm gonna go ahead and change this song because it's already like getting on my nerves. So let's see. Let's see. Just like magic, I guess so. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I have two screenshots of questions, so I'm gonna go back and forth between. I mean, there's only like 8 questions, 7 questions, 7. Okay, so next one. What part of being a wife did you not expect to be as hard as it is? Megan, girl, Megan, sis, I just love when, I love when audience, I love when my audience engage, when they engage and they ask questions like this, you know, and given like, I haven't been around long enough to gain y'all's trust back, you know, for you to even give me the time of day, but I still appreciate those who do. And it's questions like this and followers like this and a community like this that, you know, still engage with me even when I'm trying to find my thing and I'm trying to figure out what it is I want you know, my platform on social media to be. Um, whether it's, you know, motherhood, it's like a plethora of things, but, you know, I would probably find a quicker success, I guess, if I focused on one thing, like how they call what a niche is. Is that how you pronounce it? But I can't, like, it's hard for me to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to show my daughter, but I love, you know, sunscreen, and I love cosmetics, and I love lifestyle pictures. So it's hard for me to kind of narrow that all down and just show one thing, because I'm just not one thing. And I think that's the nice thing about those who have made it successful on one niche or one thing, because now they're at a point where they've gained an audience and they've gained the trust of people that they can start to branch out into more personal things aside from it being just strictly business. Like for example, Dizzy Perkins. I mean, I always refer back to her because she's probably like the most, not the most successful, but you know, she's in motherhood now, and she's now in fashion. She's always been in fashion, but now legit in fashion. Whereas the very beginning of it all, it was mostly cosmetics and it was like special effects makeup. But now she's a mom, and now she's working out, and she has a garden, and she's planting plants. So, you know, your audience really will go wherever you go once you've really made that your thing. Like, oh, you know, I may be at a distance, but I'm still here. Whereas somebody like me who just cuts everything off and goes cold turkey, that's not okay. Anyway, this has nothing to do with the question that she asked. But the question was, what part of being a wife did you not expect to be as hard as it is? Um, as a wife, okay, so I think prior to, what the heck? Oh, I thought it was screen recording. So prior to, you know, when Kelly and I were dating, it was long distance. And that, oh, mm, do I really want to go there? I don't know. With my grape juice, honestly. Yeah, we were going long distance, and okay, let's just go there. So how long was it for? Like a year and a half, maybe like 2 years? No, a year. And you know, we didn't, I've said this before, but you know, we didn't follow anything. You know, we were just fooling around. And you know, up until that point I was a said Christian and whatever. And I I'm not I'm not putting on what I'm, okay, basically I was just really like offended and hurt at just what was going on in the church, in my church. And I just, you know, there was really no relationship there for me. There was no real authentic like living life together type of relationships or friendships there. And um up until that point, you know, I was going to church almost 5 days a week, and in revival services for hours on hours on hours. I mean, days on end, like revival services, days and days and days on end, you know. And I did sense, I did feel a sense of community. It's not like I didn't. I always believed that I know that I've met God. I met God in so many of those services, and just gathering with the small group of people, because the island that I lived on and the island where I'm from is very tiny. And the church that I was attending, the extension that I was at, we're like one church in many locations. So the location there, the extension there was literally a minute walk away. I could walk from the church to my house. So we were there all the time. I mean, my mom was pretty much like, she ran the green room. So she did she fed the guest speakers. She pretty much cared for just the hospitality side. So I was a part of everything. So it's not like I was completely distant from ministry, because I knew it well. And I didn't grow up in ministry. I didn't grow up in a Christian household. We were pretty much raised, or went to the Catholic church, and we were just all Catholic, I guess. But again, there was, even there, Catholic, I mean, we were just no relationship. There was nothing there. And so when we finally found the church that I'm still attending today, and the extension that I was attending while I was living on Molokai, it was home. But even then, like everyone says, the church isn't perfect. And in this situation, I was very lost, and I was kind of just drifting away, and I was horny. I mean, can I just keep it real, okay? I was horny, and I was almost in my late, I mean, I was past 25 at this point, I think, and I was kind of getting a little worried. And I just thought, like, I don't know what to do, and there was, sad to say, I mean, there was really no mentorship as far as sex education and marriage or relationship. I mean, there was kind of like the vague talk, the general talk of, wait until marriage. Okay, but why should I wait till marriage? What are the benefits of I'm giving up having probably the best sex of my life to wait for marriage? Why? So, like in ministry, we didn't really get down to the nitty gritty, like how I think a lot of young people need, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe not need, but those were just some of the questions that I'm thinking now that I had then, that I wish I had some type of guidance, maybe not answers to, but some type of, like someone holding my hand, or just sitting me down and saying, no, this, and this. And, you know, this is why you should wait till marriage, and these are the consequences if you don't, if you decide to have sex before marriage, and all that kind of stuff. And I had already fooled around a little bit in high school. I mean, like, I didn't have like intercourse with anybody in high school. It was like fooling around, like making out and stuff, but there was no intercourse. But when I had met my husband, I was just at a point where, I was very insecure, even in the job that I was at. I, you know, with with some individuals and people that I worked with, and I was over it. Honestly, can I just be transparent? I really was just done. And so this is just one question. Okay, so the point that I'm trying to make is it carried over into me becoming a wife, because my husband and I, my then boyfriend, and I, because we decided to have sex before marriage, it carried a lot of stuff over. And even if I knew the Lord, I went to Bible college, for crying out loud. I went to CF, and I did all of these things, and I met with the Lord, and I met some crazy revivalist, and sat in some crazy revival services that went on and on and on, like I was saying. But something just wasn't really clicking. And that was something that, Papa Dutch Sheets, who was the headmaster at CFNI at the time, he said, this is just the launching pad. Don't expect this to be the reality wherever you go for the rest of your life. And it was exactly right. It just kind of went, kind of, not really, but after Texas, it was just like, geez, you're coming off of this year-long revival, going like like a little cross country trip and going with a bunch of friends who love Jesus and minister to complete strangers, in the middle of nowhere, and this like Hawaii girl over here who has never left Hawaii all her life, and all of a sudden is just being thrown out there, you know, in a fun way. It wasn't bad or anything, but it was the best experience of my life. But Papa Dutch and all of our professors and teachers at CFNI always said, this is not reality. You know what I'm saying? This will be a piece. This is a piece of what heaven will be like, but you're gonna have to be able to cultivate this yourself. You're gonna have to be able to withstand, you know, what's gonna happen when crap hits the fan, and you don't have a congregation of 500 to 1,000 people gathering with lights and guitars and sound effects and all that kind of stuff. What are you gonna do? And if there's anything that I've learned, I mean, God, if there's anything that I've learned from CFNI, it was to hold on. I mean, to really anchor yourself in the Lord, no matter what kind of dumb stuff you do. But you just have to remember that when you do decide to do dumb stuff, you reap what you sow, honey. And like referring back to the question, that was probably one of the hardest, I didn't expect to have brought as much as I did into the marriage, and more so because I decided to be, um, um, is that what you call adultery? My God, don't come for me, okay? That was one of the things that I did not expect, was how much more I would be bringing into the marriage when I decided to not keep myself and to be, to do it my way before marriage. And it caused a lot of drama even before we got married, and it just did a lot of dumb stuff, guys. Just I mean, if I could have done it again, I don't know if I would have done it right. I don't know, I probably would have done it worse. If I had known what I did now and I could do it again, maybe. But then again, I don't know, because it might have resulted to no Havilah. And that's why I just can't, like, I just, no. I need her. This is her now. This is my life with her now. And going back and trying to change anything means changing and possibly altering her not being here. So, I don't. I appreciate and I am blessed where we are now. But that was what I didn't expect. Was, yeah, you're bringing all your stuff into the marriage, like your stuff. But then when you and your partner are deciding, no, we're gonna go against covenant right now here, okay? We're gonna go against what God says about it, and I know, and so did he. So we were both accountable, you know what I'm saying, for knowing and still going against that. So, we're gonna be accountable for that, unfortunately. And that just really sets you up for a very interesting, you know, like raising children. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to tell them, like, mom and dad weren't faithful. We didn't keep ourselves before marriage. And then in turn, they'll be like, okay, well, why should we? So it just opens up a whole can of worms. But, I believe that God, he restores like nobody else. Nobody else can restore like he does. And so I know that in the 2 years so far that we've been married, and in the time that we've known each other, and getting to know each other, and even through Havilah, I mean, he's bringing so much healing and restoration from the crap that we decided to do beforehand. And yeah, so long distance. I can't edit that out. I'm not gonna edit that out. Sorry. Just excuse me. At this point, gosh, you already know it's a mess. Hey, this is like This video is like you literally sitting on the other side right next to me. Like you are the camera girl, okay? I'm pretty sure there's only women watching these, so I'm not sorry guys. I'm gonna get a chair, okay? This is ridiculous to be sitting on the floor like this still. Um yeah, so long distance, well, when you add alcohol, when you add partying, when you add sex, when you add, you know, just drama, you get somebody, you know, crying at 2 o'clock in the morning because her boyfriend is out at a concert late at night, and you know, it's like, what do you do? What do you expect, honey? You asked for it. But God is crazy good, you know. He ended up working it out anyway. Like we didn't deserve it at all. We really do not deserve what we have now, and oh, he's faithful. He really is faithful. So, you know, if you're gonna be long distance, it's the further the the further the distance may be better. Because, you know, well, unless you have, you know, because my husband he wasn't where I was. Not to say that I was anywhere like higher above him, but I knew, you know what I'm saying? I had, I still do, but at the time, I knew Jesus. I knew what was right from wrong. And even when we were having sex, like I was scared, you know, I was really worried, like in the back of my head, but I just was like, oh, whatever. I don't know what I was. I was dumb. But, you know, I came into the flesh. And I mean, it was grace that I hadn't gotten pregnant when I did, and while we were doing it, while we were fooling around. So, you know, big time, big grace, huge, big time grace. So, you know, I do not recommend long distance at all. And, you know, if you're a Christian and if you love the Lord, it's tricky, you know, it really is hard, but you gotta have good accountability partners. You definitely have to have covering, because that was another thing. I didn't have really either of those things. And I was just kind of like a free bird. I was doing whatever the heck I wanted to. And my mom, I think, was living here at the time, and I was living alone on Molokai by myself. So I had no accountability at all, okay? And honestly, I think I chose for it to be that way because I was having fun. I mean, I was having the time of my life, and I just lived that way. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna say it wasn't fun. It was fun. I'm paying for it though, you know. We both are, or we both have, but here we are. Praise God. Okay, next question. Let's go back to the other one. Oh, dream job. This. My dream job would definitely be just creating content, you know, working with brands. That's another thing I'm very intimidated working with brands. And, you know, the contract and the paperwork and all that kind of stuff, and meeting deadlines, and, you know, pitching. Because I know at this point I could definitely, you know, work with some brands, and I know that there are a few online, a few websites that you can, or are there websites? What are they called? But they're like online businesses that will connect you to brands that you can work with depending on your demographic, depending on your following, or depending on your engagement and your analytics. But I just haven't gotten to that point yet because I feel like I have so much catching up to do. And maybe if I can just get to at least 1,000, and then maybe I can consider, you know, working and going from there. Because I think I could work with like some minor brands right now, but I'm just too scared. Stupid, yeah. But yeah, definitely this would be definitely my dream job. I was gonna put makeup on, but I'm so lazy. I need to start earlier if I want to put makeup on, because this is like too late. It's 1 o'clock already. Okay. Um, let's go back. Okay. What part of being a mom did you not expect to be as hard as it is? I would definitely say probably the sleep stuff. Because girl, I'm struggling. The sleep, it's like, oh my gosh. Not for, I mean, yeah, for me, but more so, what the heck? For her. And, you know, I don't, they call it sleep regression, but I don't subscribe to the word regression. I don't subscribe to the word regression. My baby is not regressing. She's progressing. I say that in the spring break vlog that I'm editing and whatever. And you know, so they call it a sleep regression. And it's hard. I mean, I call it sleep progression. She's progressing, and you know her sleep patterns are changing. So you know it's not necessarily them regressing. It's just them, you know, progressing into a different sleep schedule or sleep time. So that's probably the hardest. And just I don't know. It's kind of like oh sorry, my baby hair is just like going crazy. That would honestly be the only thing that is hard for me, because that's that's the only thing, because I know that I was always called to be a mom. So, you know, being responsible and packing her bag and her, you know, her diapers and making sure that she's, you know, she got extra clothes in her bag and she's bathed and, you know, all the kind of, you know, oh, and then the feeding part. Okay, that one is hard too, because like I said, these moms on Instagrams with their baby led weaning and stuff, that's hard. That was very difficult. Oh, and breastfeeding. Okay, never mind. There's like a bunch of stuff now. Sorry. Yeah, breastfeeding was definitely hard. That is why my baby is 100%, 100% formula fed, honey, loud and proud. And I'm gonna say that I'll probably formula feed all my kids. I mean, you know, I was very heartbroken at first. Very. It's like I can't give my kid something that I should be able to produce naturally. It's devastating. Um, and you know, also too, because my mind, my corner, my perspective was just like all in breastfeeding. I was telling everybody, oh yeah, I'm gonna breastfeed. Oh yeah, I got this down. No, I did not. I did not have it down. I did it okay when I was in the hospital when I first had her, but it lasted maybe like 2 or 3 months. Maybe not even that, because she was already on formula, I think, after her 1 month or her two month checkup, or after her 1 month checkup. And as soon as doctor said that she lost weight, that's it. That was it for me. I was like, oh hell no. You mean I'm just like trying to feed my baby and she's not, she was latching fine, but then it was like, it was sore and, you know, whatever. I just gave up. Sorry, I did. Because just different circumstances, our living space, moving from place to place, you know, sleeping on a blow up mattress with a newborn. And, you know, oh, woe is me. Well, I made a decision about it. I decided to formula feed my baby 100%. And is it a hassle? No. Not as much of a hassle as it is trying to breastfeed my kids. So, you know, that's a decision that I made. And I just want every woman in the world to know, honey, It is. Okay, you know, we're all for breastfeeding and the boob out and letting the boob hang and show out in public. That's fine. Well, honey, my baby is 8 months old. She's healthy. She's chubby and fat and cute and living and breathing. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with formula feeding your kid. Period. Okay? And I said it before, but I'll probably formula feed all of my kids. Period. And then the other thing was for breastfeeding. Oh, baby lead weaning. Oh my gosh. Like, they have dedicated Instagram accounts to baby lead weaning. You know, no offense to any of these mamas. Get it, girl. I mean, honestly, I am so amazed at how these moms just, cook and 100 foods before they're one. And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even hear these things. And I'm not about to get all worked up and say that I want to do that for my next kid, because I don't want to. And I'm not a cook. Just like, oh my God. I'm over here feeding my baby purees out of the plastic containers from Gerber and mixing that with like the meatballs that you're gonna see in the next vlog. I mean, it's just the kind of stuff that, you know, because we haven't been able to get her a high chair. So, you know, she's all ready to start grabbing foods, and I do give her pieces of stuff and put them in her mouth, and she puts it in her mouth, but she's just not, she doesn't have the freedom like I know she can have and she can handle, because we don't have a high chair, because we just can't afford it right now. But we can't afford it now. I have to go look online for it and order it. But I asked you guys on my IG stories to vote which color. So we're gonna go ahead and get the white one, and I'm gonna order it literally after I press record. So yeah, so baby led weaning, oh my gosh. It's like kiwi and cucumber and egg squash and pumpkin, and I'm like, holy moly, they're going for it. And that's not even talking about all the other, you know, mom accounts with their cute outfit, wearing babies 3-4 layers of clothes, and you know, baby clothes that cost like $40 a pop. And it's like, they're coming for you, man. They'll come for you. Okay. Do you have anxiety? If so, about what? I'm sick of the word anxiety. I'm sorry, and just call it what it is. It's fear. No offense, sis, no offense. It's like, oh, I have anxiety. No, you're scared. You're just afraid. That's what it is, okay? But yeah, I have a bunch. Just fear of failing and fear of disappointment. That's a huge one for me. That's why I have a hard time, like, confronting things that I know will hurt the other person. If it hurts me, like if confronting something means that I get hurt, I'm all for it, because I know that I'm wrong, and whether or not I'm right, and whether or not I'm wrong, or even if I'm right, I'm still going to confront and apologize, even if I'm not wrong, because that's just what I love to do. You know, I love to confront and conquer, I guess you could say, but not all the time, especially if it means putting shame on me for, you know, giving somebody the expectations, or, you know, setting a high standard, or saying this and saying that, and then I end up like counteracting, or, you know, going in reverse of what I gave my word or what I said it would be. And so that kind of confrontation, I'm scared to death of. It is scared to death, you know. Fear of, you know, disapproval, disappointment, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, maybe this wine is still kind of good. I don't know how long it's been. Uh, okay. Last question. Are there any areas of the church? You had to ask this, Megan. Are there any areas of the church that frustrate you? Worship. Okay. Wordy songs. Eyes. We's. Us. Those things. That frustrates me a lot. Um, and okay, can we just, we're gonna go here too, okay? I'm seeing a lot of like false false teacher accounts, you know, false prophets calling these people, or as they like to word it, we're not calling them out, we're calling them up, or something like that. And, you know, I even saw this other YouTuber talking about it too. And I was like, wow. But she was convicted listening to Bethel, or like this group of, was it Bethel? Or Hillsong, and she was convicted, or she was talking about, they're talking about, you probably know who it is, but they were talking about convictions, and she said that one of her convictions was to stop listening to them, and she would get she would feel like disgusted or like some type of way towards this group. And I thought, oh man, okay, this is the thing. Like, it's either her convictions about, and there are like, there's a ton of people. I mean, I'm seeing all of these false teacher accounts pop up. But, you know, her convictions might be right. And if that's the case, and the Lord isn't on these ministries, or I don't know what, you know, what that means, but if the Lord, you know, is, I don't want to say on her side, but if the Lord is really not for these groups, then what? You know what I'm saying? Like the influence that Bethel has, that Hillsong has, like, I'm good. Like, and um, I've watched, you know, multiple movies and interviews, you know, calling these churches like they are, and you know, the prosperity gospel and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I don't have a conviction to not listen to them. And, you know, I may not, I don't know. It's like the church itself is like turning on each other, you know, and not turning on each other, but it's just like, wow, even within the church we got crap, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you got one part saying, oh, you know, be careful, you know, they're false teachings and what they're teaching is whatever. And then you got the other side that's like, you know, and I don't get it. I just, so if that's the case, then we got a bunch of people going to hell. I mean, if there is something, what, the theologically wrong, and we got a bunch of people going to hell, guys. So what are we gonna do about it? Or what are you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? You know, what direction are you gonna go in to help those who are a part of, or who has sown into? You know, what do you do when your own church is affiliated with them somehow, or sits on a board with them somehow? You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, if you were given an opportunity to sit at a table with these individuals, you know, those who are either, you know, the head pastors or all this kind of stuff, if you were given an opportunity to sit at the table with them, would you? And, you know, eventually, you know, I don't know, I guess I shouldn't go there, but I probably shouldn't think that far ahead, but you know, either the person that is the person on YouTube that's being convicted about these churches is going to be in heaven, or the groups that she's talking about aren't, or something like that. So it's like, Jesus, like, where do you go from here? What do you do? How does, not everything that a church does, you know what I'm saying? Even the church that you go to, if you think that it's perfect, honey, I mean, yeah, there are some things that I disagree with within the church. God, there are things that I disagree with within my own church. I mean, hello, but I still have to be plugged in somewhere. I still have to be rooted somewhere. I don't understand. So what direction do we give to those who are, a part of, or who are invested in, and who, what do we do with them? How do we direct them? If what you know and what you believe God is telling you is truth, then how do we guide them, since all of these people are false teachers? And, where do they go? What if they're in Hawaii like me and they have no opportunity? They have nowhere else to go. What do we do? And not everybody has the anointing to just like hear from God, or go to Mount Sinai like Moses and get 2 tablets and start their own church. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we do? What direction do you give those who are involved in these ministries, or who are invested in these ministries? What do you do? So I don't even know that answered the question, but another thing is like a lot of joking around, like cracking jokes, and like just on purpose, when it's like, and it more so is with younger preachers and like millennial preachers, and those, like around my age, and those skinny jean wearers and just kind of, I don't know, it seems like there's no reverence for for the pulpit anymore. Like, there's no anything for that space. Not to say that they don't honor it and they don't reverence it, but I just could do without so much of the jokes. And that's why I feel like a lot of people come to church to be entertained, and just to check their checklist off, honestly, and to say, I did my godly duties. Because as powerful as the word is, as powerful as it comes, and as powerful as it's delivered, there's still so much, joking and laughing and jokes, and it just kind of, I don't like that. I'd rather you not. You know what I'm saying? Just give me the meat. Just give me the meat. That's all I want. Nothing else. None of jokes. So yeah, that's pretty much the areas that frustrate me. And I can only really speak from what I know and what I've experienced in the church. Lack of connection, lack of probably accountability, just a lack of passion for like evangelism. You rarely ever see anybody walking up to you in the grocery store and saying, "Hey, Jesus loves you. You know that? Can I pray for you? Like, is there anything I can, give me like a word of encouragement, or a word of a word from the Lord, or just prayer, or anything like that." Heck, I'm guilty of that too. Just the church being so wishy-washy, and being very judgmental, being very out of touch with the world, being very, you know, a backseat, putting a backseat to a lot of the issues going on in the world with racism and, you know, abortion, um, all like hunger. I mean, you know, all those different kinds of things, which I believe the church should be at the forefront of, like at the very forefront of all of these things. And we're not, you know, and that's sad. That's very sad. So yeah, I just pray that God really opens up our eyes to see truth and to see his truth. You know, whether it has anything to do with a church or music or a ministry or whatever it is. I just ask that God opens up our eyes to truth and we can see him for who he really is and not who anybody says that he is. No, not me, not any YouTuber, not even Bethel, not even Hillsong, nobody, you know, just exactly for who he is. God speaking for himself of who he is by himself. Period. Period. Hearing it? I better not chug that. It honestly just tastes like mucus. Oh, alrighty. I think that's gonna be all for tonight, guys. Was it shorter? I don't know. It feels like this one was shorter. But I'm pretty proud. Last week's one has almost 30 views. Not as much as the previous week's one, but you know, progress. And I think this spring break video is gonna be really fun. It's gonna be long. I think it's almost like half an hour long. So yes ma'am. Oh my gosh, my hair. I was I was in the middle of filming a TikTok too, and I was waiting to film the final transition because I thought I would put makeup on, but I do lazy. But yeah. Thank you guys for the questions. Thank you for those who send in questions. And I'm gonna get better wine for next week. Good night.